The Mass Effect universe is rich, full of life around every turn, and in equal measure a vast open galaxy filled with blanks that need filling, and others that don't. The universe's lore is deep and packed with information, both commonplace such as Krogan having redundant organs and 4 testicles, and obscure like there not being any fish on the Citadel's Presidium.
I can't believe there aren't any fish up there. It must be a mistake. We talk about something else now.
In today's video, we're going to be exploring 10 obscure Mass Effect lore facts because we can. Well, technically 9 canon ones and one that is arguably non-canon as it's cut content. But hear me out on that one, it's a cool detail. Anyway, that's enough ear chewing. Please enjoy. First and foremost, we have the planet Rothla, which was once a large ice dwarf that was decimated by Krogan experimental weapon technology in the waning years of the Krogan rebellions. The planet was shattered into a field of debris, and after this the planetoid was reduced to a contained field of thousands of tiny moonlets rotating around one another, frequently colliding and ricocheting off. The method behind the destruction of this planet was never deduced, and all Krogan involved in the experiment were killed by it. Ships travelled to the edge of the event's light cone to observe what happened, only noticing a brief moment of extreme gravitational lensing around Rothla before it was destroyed. This would become a popular extranet meme suggesting the Turians are covering up the existence of a super biotic Krogan, genetically engineered on the planet. The planet can be found in both Mass Effect 2 and 3 in the Krogan DMZ cluster and uses the asset of a typical spherical world despite its dossier claiming it was destroyed. Fact number 2. Asari Government is an online democracy with no politicians or elections. Instead, they utilise an all-inclusive structure. Any Asari can log onto a chat room on the extranet, moderated by virtual intelligences, and debate issues and vote on decisions, participating at will. However, the Asari tend to gravitate mostly towards the views of any present matriarchs. That's a bit like Reddit, 4chan, or God forbid Twitter becoming a tool for government, except the opinions of verified users are considered more credible. It's baffling that a civilization that structures its government that way ever made it to the stars at all, especially considering the state of the internet in the real world. Fact 3. On Earth, Canada, the US and Mexico joined together, forming the United North American States. As a result of this, a group of protesters would smuggle 15.5 tons of explosives inside the Statue of Liberty and blow it up, and the largest remaining piece was her head. The head would disappear and later resurface as a part of arms dealer Donovan Hock's private collection on the planet Beckenstein.
How did Hawk get Lady Liberty's head? Damn you, Hawk!
Number 4. There is a subspecies of Solarians known as the Lystheni. They cannot be encountered in-game but supposedly reside primarily on Omega. For some reason they are unwelcome in Council space. Nothing else is known about these Solarian offshoots and what they could have possibly done to become a pariah species. For our 5th fact, the Karika are an insectoid race of terrestrial ants native to Ekram. They are the first known insects in the galaxy to control biotics and have demonstrated signs of rudimentary intelligence. The galaxy has since debated over uplifting them from their homeworld. Nothing else is known about them besides the fact they are beetle-like and the size of ants. But there you go, Biotic Bugs. What could possibly go wrong? Number 6. The Manswell Expedition. Prior to humanity's discovery of the mass relays, a group of around 300 people funded by billionaire Victor Manswell would leave Earth in the year 2075 and be cryogenically frozen on a journey to the binary Alpha Centauri system. Fast forward just over a century later, a human colony in this system would be discovered by an Asari expedition in the region, where they were ambushed and one Asari scientist would be taken prisoner. Due to the possibility that these individuals had no knowledge of the rest of the galaxy, the Alliance would engage in a first contact procedure. They would send in experts, medics, sociologists, anthropologists, linguists, psychologists, and geneticists to start a dialogue with the colonists. Some would choose to remain on the colony, but those who chose to be reintegrated into galactic society would be stunned to discover that they had living descendants. Fact 7. According to Drew Karpyshyn's book Mass Effect Revelation, naturally occurring blonde hair amongst humans is a virtually extinct trait, which is a cool little bit of Mass Effect trivia, I guess. Number 8. We know the Asari are a monogendered species that can reproduce via mind melding with anybody, whether it be another Asari or a different species altogether, provided they are sufficiently sentient, and the children will always be Asari. But according to Mordin Solus in Mass Effect 3, if a Vorcha and an Asari mate, for whatever reason, their offspring will have an allergy to dairy.
Asari Vorcha offspring have an allergy to dairy and...
The surprising part here is that the Vorcha are considered sufficiently sentient. But that's just such a random thing, and I really love random pointless facts that you'll never need. Anyway, speaking of the Vorcha, our 9th fact is also about them. The Vorcha are a primitive yet unique race with extraordinary adaptability and regenerative qualities. They can adapt to higher or lower gravity, they can survive in barely breathable atmospheres, and they can even regrow lost limbs and are immune to almost all diseases. The only real downside is they are the shortest lived race in the galaxy and only survive for 20 years on average. As a result of this, they no longer evolve as a species, and their DNA equivalent hasn't changed for millions of years, because they evolve instead on an individual level to adapt to their environment. As a result of this, they're viewed as both adaptable and expendable, and therefore are a popular choice for cannon fodder amongst gangs such as the Blood Pack. But what's really funny comes during the Reaper invasion of 2186. The Reapers encountered difficulties upon attempting to harvest the Vorcha homeworld of Heshtark. Due to their aggressive tendencies and durability, the Vorcha were completely unthreatened by the Reapers and were resilient even after the loss of access to basic resources such as water, due to their insane adaptability. The Reapers had to alter tactics and focus on immobilizing the Vorcha rather than killing them to avoid them becoming more involved in the war though. It's entirely likely that they would have not cared for it either way. Make no mistake though, the Vorcha aren't difficult to kill, it just takes a very deliberate and direct effort. Now our 10th fact is cut content, so it isn't really lore, and it's arguably not canon. However, it's also arguably one of those things that's a source of conjecture anyway and isn't 100% confirmed even if it was canon, but it is really cool, so I thought it was worth a mention. According to cut Shadow Broker dossiers on Samara, the Asari Justicar, it's possible she made contact with Earth during the Elizabethan era whilst on an expedition searching for Prothean artifacts, making contact with a pre-spaceflight civilization whilst undergoing repairs, with rumours that her ship's drive core caused irregular weather that scattered the Spanish Armada. It's also entirely possible that frightened natives attacked the ship. It's suggested therefore that Samara interfered with Earth's politics at that time, albeit indirectly, though none of it is confirmed, so it's as canon now as it was before it was cut, technically. This would also add depth to Samara's expressed curiosity about humans and their individualism, as she would have witnessed them as both a pre-spaceflight civilization and also later as a spacefaring one.
Know about Knights Errant and Samurai?
When I knew I must leave Asari space again, I studied the history and morals of new species. When I was a maiden wandering the galaxy, humans had not yet arrived.
What did your studies tell you about us?
You are more individualistic than any other species I have encountered. If 3 humans are in a room, there will be 6 opinions. I like your species. I am curious to see what you will do.
Sadly, in the cut dossiers, Barlavon is unable to make a concrete assessment, as there's limited data, and therefore we will never know if this was true even if it was canon. But I thought it was a really cool piece of cut content that adds a ton of depth to Samara's character, and something I also didn't know until I was researching for this video, so I wanted to give it the time of day. And that brings us nicely to the end of today's video. Thank you all for watching, I really hope that you've enjoyed, and if you're searching for deep intricate Mass Effect lore, I really hope that there's been something fresh in here for you. But there's always somebody who will have known it all anyway, because yeah, you just know it. But of course, if there are any other obscure bits of lore that you want me to mention in perhaps a part 2, then let me know down in the comments. Anyway, be sure to go ahead, leave a like, subscribe, share the channel with your friends, all that wonderful stuff. That would be super fantastic. And of course, if you like history, be sure to check out our history channel Decades, which you can find via a link in the description, likely beneath the timestamps. But look, if history's not your thing, there is still plenty of content over on this channel, so don't worry about it. But with any luck, I'll be seeing you all very soon with another video at some point. But until next time, please take care and goodbye.